Okay, so I haven't done an update on this cab for a while. You can kind of spot a couple things different. So let's start with the inside. So I finally got all my parts from Cozy Cab. So we now actually have the mat underneath the seat. We actually have the brackets all for the back. That bracket's the right bracket now. I have the plate for behind here. It's all installed now, so come on the outside here. There's the plate I was missing. And here's the other plate that I finally got. Here you can see how that box is out for the fuel fill. And on the other side, instead of the piece of plastic they had there, you can actually see it is a piece of metal with some rubber sealing on it. And in here, I mounted a grab handle on here, which also works really good for a GoPro mount. And then let's hop in here. I have both floor plates in here now. I'm gonna try to seal around them a little bit better yet. I'm gonna cut some rubber to fit in that gap yet. Heater is here. I still need to hook this up, but besides that. And then on this side here, I made a rail to mount different things on. So let me pop the SD card out of here so I don't mess up my video on there. Yes, this monitor does record. So if I flip this switch on here, we bypass the ignition. I'll turn off some lights here. As you can see, I actually have 4 cameras around this cab. So we have a front, a rear, a left, and a right. And then I have it set up as split view, so this would be this side, as you can see. This would be this side, as you can see. There's the toolboxes behind me. And then that would be behind me, straight back. So it's just kind of nice. And then I mounted, this is the camera that was in this cab. I mounted it vertically like this. And I mounted that camera on the loader arm down there. So it gives me a nice view of this side of the snowblower as you're cutting up against something or anything like that. So all the mounts are 3D printed mounts too that I made on my 3D printer. And then down here we have a phone mount I made. Phone slides right in there so you can at least see somebody calls you. This here will reach down to the phone, but most of the time I have it stuck out here, plugged into this GoPro, just tucked through the door. So that's why that is hanging there, and that comes up to a USB jack I put in up here. That also tells you voltage. And then as you can see, we have a bunch of switches. So we'll go through this here in a second. I'll come back to them. But this one here, instead of, they had the heater switch down here and the fan switch back here on this fan tucked way up here, and you're just reaching all over the cab everywhere. So this one here, or this first one here, is my high and my low and my fan. This next are on my blower for my heater. This next one is my high and low on my fan back here. And then this last one here, I was planning to use for my wipers, high and low. But Dum Dum here forgot that these have a park wire in them. So even when this switch is off, this switch actually doesn't have an off. It's on switch. It's called a triple throw, triple pole switch, or triple throw, double pole switch. I forget. So no matter what setting you have, there's power going to this motor. So in this setting here, it's holding it in the park position. And then you have your low and your high. So if I try to kill power to it, I got it wired into this switch right now. But if I kill power to it, it stops where it is and doesn't go back to park. But if I switch this switch to the last setting, you hear that? That's why it's got power going to it in all 3 settings. So that switch right now is not really useful. I have to use this switch for the wiper. But I do have it wired in. I just let it on. As you can see, I did go through and put all nice Deutsch connectors in here. I rewired this cab 100%. So you can see we got nice harnesses coming down. Another nice Deutsch connector down here for the heater. And where the switch was on the heater, I threw in another USB because I had two of them. So we got the nice monitors, and this does record all 4 cameras to this SD card. There are a few little tweaks I realize I need to do yet, but other than that, that is pretty well the inside. Really been happy with this so far. My only really complaint with this cab is I wish this wiper, I don't know how you would have did it. I wish the wiper motor was down here maybe, so you'd get more of a swipe on here, because if you watch this wiper, you never clear this section of the window down here. So it can make it a bit challenging once in a while to see. We'll let that on yet for now. And then I'll hop up here on my weight bracket. So you can see, I built a rail going all the way around this cab. This is just 3/4 inch conduit, and I 3D printed these corners. Now these back corners actually have the mounts 3D printed right into them for the 2 side-facing cameras. And then we have 2 rear lights back here. Let me get down for a second without dying. So as you can see, there's my left-facing camera. We got 2 more rear lights back up here. That is my rear-facing camera that is just zip tied on there for right now. Here is my right side-facing camera. If we follow this rail along front, I have 1 light facing straight to the right-hand side, and coming along the front, we have a whole bunch of lights. So we have, these are floodlights. They're kind of kicked off on a little bit of an angle. The center 2 are spotlights, which are looking pretty much straight forward as far as I can see. And this is kind of kicked off an angle again. And here is the front-facing camera. And then if we follow that around back to the other side, we have the same thing with a side-facing camera here. And then these aren't hooked up yet, but in the front corners I molded these marker lights. Them are going to be hooked up to the turn signals. They just probably won't happen this year. So let's flip some lights on here. So I hop back in here. My bunch of switches here. We have front floodlights, front spotlights, left side, right side, rear lights, and then these are my LED snow markers, which if you didn't see the video on that, there's a video on that already. This next switch here is for a beacon light. It is wired. I just need to mount the beacon light yet. And this switch here is my dome light. I took the Cozy Cab's old analog, or old, not analog, halogen light off and put my own in. As you can see, we have lights all the way around. There are the light up snowplow guides. We have the light on the side here, and we have the lights up on back. And then if I come in here and flip on the regular tractor lights, we also have my 2 up here that are mounted on the brush bar to get, or brush guard to get past the snout. We have the 2 in there. I did unplug the fender lights because they're inside the cab and glare off the cab. And then I have 1 on each side here kicking down on an angle out to the side. We have this one up on top kicking back on an angle like that. Plus we have the 2 lights there yet. So this thing is lit up like a legitimate Christmas tree at night. I'll throw some drone footage in. I got a little bit just pulling it out one night. But it is definitely, you can see everything around you now. So hop back in here, turn that off, and we'll go turn them off, and we'll kill our power to our monitors. I'm gonna shove that SD card back in so I don't lose it. Yeah, so that was that. I don't know if I pointed this out yet, but I picked these up on Marketplace. I have 70-pound weights on there. I also stacked a 50-pound weight in front of them. Them are pretty beat up and repainted them. So I'm pretty happy with this cab right now. It'll do what I need it to do. There are a few little tweaks yet to come yet, like this actually needs to be hooked up one of these days. I'm waiting for one more piece of heater hose. Here's some of my heater hose, but I need ones that got a 90 in it. I don't want to reuse. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right from the start. So this is the one that I'm waiting for, is a molded 90 like this. I could reuse this hose, but if I'm going to go through the process of draining the antifreeze to hook that heater up, I would rather not have to deal with it. And I have quick connects for these hoses. So when I take this cab off in the summer, I'll be able to pop them 2 hoses off and just tuck them up on the cab there. I have the cable to come out of here that goes to a heater valve. A couple little things I want to add on to here yet and tweak yet is next summer I'm going to pull these doors off, pull the glass off. I'm going to take them to a local company, get sandblasted. You can see where over the years the water's gotten to them. This right now, this cobbly switch sitting here, well, that's for the light, but this cobbly switch here is actually what does my snout, and I don't use it all summer, and it's just kind of mounted onto this light, kind of janky. I'm actually going to mount that. Wires are all ran already up here. Wires are ran all the way down to this plug already. So I'm going to rewire that so it comes down this B-pillar, comes on this door, and mounts over here somewhere. So even when I pull the cab off in summer, I won't have that switch hanging there with me all the time. But besides that, that's pretty much it on this cab and tractor. I'm gonna give this thing a spray off here. That's why I kind of parked in here kind of jankily, because I just finished doing some snow this morning. And yeah, so far I can't really complain too much about the cab. Like I said, I put the cameras on here because this is one giant blind spot. So I'll show you. So if I'm sitting here, I'll shut this door even too. If I'm sitting here, I got good visibility all the way to about 90 degrees to my body. So all the way this way, all the way this way, 90 degrees, all good visibility. But now, both them toolboxes over there are pretty much gone. So you can see there are 2 toolboxes over there. And if you're sitting here like this, that giant blind spot blocks everything. And over here, there is a whole garage door that is disappeared. And if I lean way back, there's the garage door. But I don't know, anybody who's running equipment for a while knows that you sit in one spot, you're not. And with cars, soccer moms coming down roads and that, you don't want to be missing a soccer mom coming down the road, or much less. The visibility out the back is actually really good. Like, you can see all the way down to my 3-point down there. You can see all the way around. But that is why I put the cameras in here, because as you can see, I can see that whole garage door. I can see the toolboxes. And it just gives you good visibility on what is behind you and around you. And as you can see, I can see about half of that garage door. So that's where that starts on this camera. It's a little bit past here, so about there's where I can see in real life. You've got most of that, and then the rest of it you can see. As you can see, it overlaps. As you can see, the hinges and the hinges, I can see all the way across my toolbox, and then to the other toolbox, and then all the way around to where my sprayer is sitting. And if I sit here in the seat, I can obviously see my sprayer, no problem. So we got pretty well the coverage all the way around this tractor. And then if I want to make them bigger, full screen, we can hit that button. We can focus on just one side if we're backing on the road and we're worried about the traffic coming one direction. And yeah, so, and then I'll show you kind of, if we can see them through the window. There are my lovely 3D printed black brackets through a very dirty window. But yeah, and all these are is clamped onto this 3/4 inch piece of conduit is actually all I used. And then, so you can see, where are we? There's custom bent brackets somewhere in here. Oh, right here. Right here we got a bracket, and that goes to a P-clamp to hold the tubing to that bracket. Really simple design. My only complaint with it is this front does pick up a little bit of vibration to it, and it does jiggle this front camera a little bit. I may need to add another mount point over here somewhere. But that's it on the cab. Yeah, one more thing before I get out of here. So I always used to carry a 2x4 or a piece of wood tucked behind my seat in this cab. I prefer to keep all 10 of my digits attached. I've done that so far. Such stuff as I've done using power tools and table saws and that, they're all still on there. I don't like to stick my hand down in there to dig out snow. John Deere does not come with these tractors with a dig out tool or anything like that. So this is actually a dig out tool for an Aaron's snowblower. And so you can see it's got the nice little bracket on here and it clips in there really good. So I'm gonna take this and mount that right there on the side of this cab. So if I do have to dig it out, which this snowblower is actually pretty good about not having to be dug out. If you can, even if you get in wet, crappy, heavy snow, if you can jam enough snow into that impeller, it'll normally throw it out. But if you don't get very much snow and it's just sloppy junk by the end of the road, you will plug, and I prefer to keep my fingers. There's no decent spot to mount it. I guess I could mount it on there, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna mount it on the cab. So yeah, there's that. If I wouldn't have put the handle on this side, it would have been a good spot there, but we'll go back here. I'll have to shut the door in order to grab it, but 'tis okay. So there you go, there's the update on the cab. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I know the cozy cabs don't make them for the new tractors, and I do understand why the Mower cab is whooping the crap out of these cabs. Before somebody asks it, yes, I would have loved to have a Mower cab instead of this cab. But my biggest need is this tractor does other custom work, from spraying to aerating and lawn rolling in the spring. I need a cab that I can pull off easily. And I hear you, well, why do you need to pull your cab off? To spray and aerate. Well, because nobody limbs their trees up 8 feet high. I mean, I'm hitting trees that I'm hitting down here already with my ROPS. So this is impractical for spraying, rolling, and aerating. It would just get wrecked by caught on a tree that I missed or something in a matter of no time. So this cab here, it is basically a matter of pull this panel, take these 2 bolts out on each side, pull all this rubber, kind of tuck it back, and pull 2 bolts out here on the back. On the back here, these 2 bolts right here. And then the way this is set up is right down here, I have a big power connector. I pull that power connector. I'll have my quick disconnects on my heater line. I will disconnect this electrical connector up here for the snowblower, which is right here. And I'll be able to, in a matter of 45 minutes to an hour, pull this cab completely off this tractor, set it on a pallet till winter. That is a big reason why I went with the cozy cab. I do know Curtis has their cabs too, but I didn't really care for their windows, their doors I mean. I really like the full glass door, you got the good visibility. But yes, a Mower cab would have been awesome if I didn't need to take this cab on and off. And The Mower cab, you actually remove the whole ROPS, and that cab mount basically replaces the ROPS. That's a heck of a lot more work to put on and off than what this cab is. This may not be as nice of a cab. It may not be as sturdy of a cab. It may not have the nice heater vents up in the ceiling. It may have this giant box for a heater, but I actually gotta say, I can't complain too much about this heater because I thought it would be in my way for my leg, but I haven't hit my leg on this yet. So, yeah, there's my opinion on that. Hope you guys like this video. I'm done now, for real. See ya. That was a fail. I'm done now for real, so see you guys. Hopefully you liked this video, a little quick update video on this cab, and we'll have some more snow removal videos coming real soon. So be sure, as always, to like, comment, rate, subscribe, the normal YouTube junk. It does help out the videos, makes them easier to be seen, and we'll have some more snow removal videos coming here shortly. See ya.